Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of OnStage on FAVunite TV. We are here to amplify Black stories and Black storytellers and to address all things culture. So we're so glad that you are with us again on FAVunite TV. We've got some exciting things happening in our programming, including bringing on new content creators, and we're going to introduce one to you here shortly. But in the meantime, also want to let you know that we have FAVunite LLC. And FAVunite LLC is a full marketing consultancy agency, and particularly for those organizations that are culture related, organizations that are wanting to have their brand story told in a way unlike no other. And because we are also a technical company, we have some very new and exciting ways to get your brand to market in ways that no one else can. So we're so excited to be able to share that information with you. Also, I don't know if you've heard this, but I have two new books out. Not one, but two. We have The Sovereignty of Worth and Soul Notes, The Frequency of Plenty. 31 daily affirmations on abundance and worth. So I invite you to go to bouquetcastyle.com to see more about the conversation of worth and how that amplifies a more exciting and more wonderful experience in your life. I just got back from New Orleans not too long ago to accept the Enterprising Women of the Year award. There were about 100 honorees, and I was so grateful to be one of them, to walk across that stage. So lots of great things happening in the FAVunite family, and thank you so much for being here. So let's get into it with our next guest. Today, we have with us Dr. Precious Flenory. She is a transformational coach, an author, and I've read her books. They are absolutely amazing. She is a teacher and founder of I Am Her Found. It's the podcast where faith meets emotional healing, spiritual maturity, and personal responsibility. It's not surface, folks. It is level motivation. It is depth work. She is also the founder of the Well Experience, a space for women seeking depth, healing, and spiritual maturity. And this is not entertainment driven inspiration. It is intentional conversation designed to help women grow, heal, and lead from a place of clarity and wholeness. The Well Experience is a place for women who are tired of shallow water. They're ready to go deep. At the Well Experience, you will talk about identity, wholeness, marriage, motherhood, purpose, and the hard questions believers don't always ask out loud. At the Well Experience, you confront mindsets that keep women stuck and decimate spiritual cliches. So we are so excited. Dr. Precious Flenory, would you please come on stage?
Thank you so much for having me. It is such a pleasure to be on FAVunite. Such a pleasure.
Well, it's a pleasure. It is definitely a pleasure having you with us. So, and by the way, I love the red and white. That looks great on you. Absolutely fabulous. Just fabulous. So, yeah, we've got some great questions, things that people really want to know, particularly women who are going through new experiences in their life. And so I really wanted our audience to get to know more about you as a coach, as a woman of faith, and as well as knowing more about the well experience. So, Dr. Precious, you talk about carrying glory without losing yourself. So for the women the woman who feels like she has to choose between her spiritual calling and her personal sanity, what is the secret to holding both that most uh what's the secret to holding both that most people get wrong?
Well, it's not a separate thing. They're both you because we are created in God's image. So what the glory, the anointing that we have is a part of us because that's who God created us to be. So where we lose ourselves is because we think that it's too different, us as a person, and then what we're called to do. But no, it's all one and the same. And once we accept who He has created us to be, then we fully walk in us, not who we have been conditioned to be. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I love what you said at the end too about not being the person that we've been conditioned to be, because there's so many things out there that tell us what we're supposed to be, based on marketing, based on industry, all of those things. And that is not what we are created to be. We are created to be um, our authentic self, that which we were made to be. So thank you so much for pointing that out right on the onset of this conversation. And we all have those moments. Maybe it's in the middle of a chaotic morning with kids, or a stressful meeting, where our surface level faith feels really thin. So when a woman hits that wall, what is the immediate internal cue she can use to pivot from a spiritual cliche to an actual depth work?
Um, so I would have to say, depending on when you say spiritual cliche, what cliche is she using? Is it in God's timing? Because if we are using, so I'll say this, a lot of the one that I used to use was, in God's timing, I'll be healed. In God's timing, God will deliver. No, it's not. Time is not made for God. Time is made for us. So it's when I'm ready to let go of the things that is hurting me, to let go of the things that is having me bound, then will I be free. So a lot of times we hold on to things because why? It's comfortable to us because we're scared of the unknown. Um, we are so conditioned to a certain thing that we don't want to move past. Why? Because when you let go of a thing, there's pains that go along with it. They say growing pains, healing has pain too. It's not cookie code. It's messy. It hurts. It's unlearning to learn. So that's one of the things. And then it's, yeah, pray about it, but there's action that has to go along with it. And faith without works is dead. So
Yeah.
if I'm having faith for my healing, but I'm not in preparation doing the things that show that I'm working towards that healing, then I will never be healed. But the thing about, if I don't change my mindset, my perspective of how I view things, then I will never see the outcome of it because my mind is not changed. I can be healed. God has already healed me. But if I don't view it from that correct lens, then I will always be operating from an unhealed. So,
Wow, that's so powerful. So very powerful. And I like the fact that you mentioned the mindset. We are, I love that term mindset
Mhm.
because it means that your mind is set in a particular direction. And so, what is that mindset? What direction is it going? Is it going in a mindset that is to your detriment, or a mindset that is to your um, your improvement, your an amplified or augmented aspect of your life? And it can go either way, wouldn't you say?
Mhm. Yes.
Definitely. Yes,
It can
yes.
help you or hinder you.
Can definitely help you or hinder you. So your mindset is so important. And and I love what you also said about, just having those cliches. What do they really mean? What are
Mhm.
they here for? And so you have to, sounds like what you're sharing is that you've got to know yourself and what it is that you're going through, and at a deeper level, and not just like you said at that surface level of, oh
Mhm.
well, this will happen and call it a day.
Mhm. Because God is never, we're never waiting on God. God is always waiting on us.
That's so true. That's so true. So let's get into the well experience, right?
Yeah.
You've mentioned
Yeah.
that the well experience is for women who are tired of shallow water. I love that. Let's go deep. Let's get deep into it. Can you describe a moment in your own journey where the shallow answer finally failed you? What was the raw emotion that pushed you to demand more of yourself or for yourself and your healing?
Um, I would have to say, I would say it was right after um my first husband asked for a divorce. And, I was told for so many years, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it. And I was doing all that, and they're like, you pray about it and it's going to get better. And when he asked for that divorce, I knew that it wasn't going to get better. And I felt the rug being pulled from underneath me. And it was like, okay, what now? And because I was so like, he was my world. And I didn't realize at the time I idolized him. Like, I made him my God. But and to give the whole content of it, it wasn't even his fault. Because when I met him, I was not saved. I went to church, but he was part of the reason um I came to God fully. It was through him that I met God on a different level and got saved. But yet from 18 when I said yes to God to 31 at being divorced, I didn't fully develop a close relationship with God. It was still surface. It didn't go deep until 31 till I found myself like, what do I do now? Because the person that you gave me doesn't want me. Like, what do I do now? I did everything that everybody at the church told me to do. I prayed, I fast. What do I do now? So I had to what? Get in the word for myself. I had to I had to go beyond what I was doing. And I had to really apply the word to myself. And not only was like not just praying, but praying and sitting and waiting for God to talk to me instead of me talking to him. So building that full relationship with him and not that one-sided conversation. So instead of seeking his hand, I was seeking his face. Because now at this time, suicide was hitting my mind. Like all this other stuff that I was battling with before I came to him. Like I was a cutter. That started coming back to me. And then on top of that, the person that loved me the most was my grandmother. She had died. So it's like, okay, well, between my grandmother and him, I feel like there were the two people that loved me the most. My so it was like I felt abandoned from my grandmother and I felt rejected from him. So it's like, but God, did you leave me too?
Right.
And that's what he was like, no. And that's where I love the footprints poem. And it was within the darkest period of my life that I really found God. And I call it my well experience.
Yeah.
Because
It's,
I became who I thought my husband wanted at that time to try to keep him. But
mhm.
but back then, little did I know, he didn't even know what he wanted. Why? Because he was lost just like I was lost. Because he didn't have that relationship with God like I didn't.
Mhm.
Because he was piggybacking off his mom's relationship, and I was trying to piggyback off of what I thought his relationship was. So at
Right.
31 is when I really got my relationship with God, and that's when my real journey started. Now here I'm at 42, but like I had to have that, as I say, come to Jesus moment where it's like either I'm going to give him my full yes or I'm going to perish.
Wow.
So that was my moment, sitting in a bathroom with the lights off with a razor blade, thinking about I can't do this. I can't kill myself because I have two boys, but I can go back to cutting myself to kind of make me feel better. I'm alive. I feel seen because that's what I used to do when I was a teenager. Because I was told killing yourself, that's selfish. And if anybody know me, I'm not a selfish person. I put everybody before me. So I couldn't fully commit, but I could halfway commit by cutting myself. Don't nobody see me, but I see me. Cause every time I see the scar, I I did that. Like I see me.
And
But when I
from
went
what
to do it, I heard clear as day. It's not you carrying yourself, it's me carrying you.
mm,
And I went and I immediately called my play brother, and he's a tattoo artist. And I said, "Hey, bro, what you doing?" And he said nothing. And I went and I got this tattoo, and I put it over where I was gonna cut myself, and it says, "It was then that I carried you from the footprints." And from that point on, every time I thought about suicide, cutting myself, or anything like that, I always look back. And I still to this day, when I have my hard days, I look at it.
Thank you for watching OnStage on FAVunite TV. If you're new to FAVunite TV and you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a comment below, give us a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. If you'd like to see more content from FAVunite TV, go ahead and subscribe. We're here for Black stories and Black storytellers. We're showcasing the culture on FAVunite TV.